Raghunath Bhatta. Hare Krishna. Nice to see so many people turn out in Chester. As Giri just said, I'm from Liverpool, but I won't tell you which part of Liverpool, so otherwise you'll know how common I am. Well, I left Liverpool a long time ago. I left Liverpool in 1971. Giving away my age there. Anyway, wasn't that play good?
Yeah.
We did this. They did the same play in another place. I forget, because we do these festivals. We're a group that Giri has just spoken. He's our head, and before him is Tribhuvan, who's standing behind Prabhupada. He started this festival team, and we actually travel all over the UK, just putting on festivals like this to spread some spiritual knowledge. And our biggest festival is Glastonbury. We have a huge marquee, bigger than this room actually, and we do a few days of festivals there in Glastonbury. And Parasaran will be here later on. He gives out, I think he gives out 1,000 free plates of food every day in London. At Glastonbury he gives out something like close to 10,000 plates over 4 days. But we call it prasadam. Anyway, I'm not really here to talk about all of that, but we're here today to talk about this Bhagavad Gita. Hands up, anyone who's familiar with Bhagavad Gita? Show of hands. Yeah, quite a few people. For those who aren't familiar with it, indirectly you may be. This is the book that Mahatma Gandhi carried around. He carried it everywhere with him. And Bhagavad Gita means, Bhagavad means Bhagavan is the name of God, Krishna. And Gita means a song. So it's a song of God. In the spiritual world, every word is a song and every step is a dance. And it's actually where we all belong. So this Vedic or Sanskrit language, it's sung, it's not spoken, we sing it. That's just a brief one. So before I get into the philosophy, I'll just explain a little bit about the culture. Here, somewhere around this room is my 2 children. There's my son with the bald head over there. Anybody's welcome to shave your head and join us if you want. We've got a barber around the back if anybody wants a quick haircut. And my daughter is the girl who did the dance. So they were both born actually into the Hare Krishnas. I never forced them to chant, I never forced them to shave their heads, I never forced them to wear bed sheets. But like you see in the park, these ducks, they take to water. My children took to Krishna consciousness because it's natural. God consciousness is a natural function of the living entity, of everybody. And then you may notice I wear white, and Giri, he's wearing saffron. So, in our culture, we're not a religion strictly, we're actually a whole culture. So you see the brahmacharis are the celibate monks, they live in the temple. You see it around some younger brahmacharis. And there's one guy, his name's Hare Krishna, he's one of the older brahmacharis. And they all live in an ashram in the temple. They rise at 3 o'clock in the morning, and their first prayer starts at 3:30. It's serious business, you know. And they live a very dedicated life. And the older brahmacharis, like Hare Krishna and Giri, they're teachers, and the other boys, they be training. And then people who are white like myself and Giri here, we wear white. It means we're family people. We're in the family way, you might say, you know. So, as Giri, the other Giri, mentioned earlier on, the Vedic culture or Vedic knowledge, it's ancient. In fact, it's known to be eternal, which is quite a concept by modern standards, but it's actually known to be eternal. And it covers all aspects of life. We're not talking about the brahmachari ashram, but actually even the family life is called an ashram in the Vedic culture. because everything should be pertaining to some kind of spirituality, even what we call material life, or married life. So the Vedas cover, as Giri said, medicine, architecture, food, even politics and warfare. It covers all aspects of life. And of course, then if you come to the spiritual end of Vedic knowledge, Veda means knowledge, actually. Veda just means knowledge. And when you come to the higher end of knowledge, you come to the spiritual side. So all the other aspects are there, so we can structure our lives in such a way that we can bring ourselves up to some spiritual platform and imbibe some kind of spiritual knowledge. So, for example, if you buy a washing machine or a television, you might wonder where I'm going with this. But if you buy a television and a washing machine, there's a manual that tells you how to get the best out of that particular thing. So the Vedas, you might say, are the manual that goes with this planet, that tells us as human beings how to get the best out of the planet and ourselves, to live in harmony, which we all know at the moment we're not doing a very good job on that front. So the cream of all knowledge is spiritual knowledge, and as I said, material knowledge is, like for example, yoga. Yoga is basically the stepping stones between material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Yoga is to prepare ourselves physically and mentally to raise our consciousness to a spiritual platform, to become God conscious. So Srila Prabhupada came, this is Srila Prabhupada if anybody's not aware, and he came, as Gary said, in the 60s to America, and he taught, he actually translated a lot of books. We've got a whole vast library of books, but this particular Bhagavad Gita is called Bhagavad Gita as it is. As it is very important because there's quite a few versions of the Bhagavad Gita, and there has been Bhagavad Gitas around. Even the Nazis actually studied the Bhagavad Gita, and quite a few scholars throughout modern history, they studied the Bhagavad Gita. But this, as it is the only Bhagavad Gita that has actually produced devotees of Krishna, God-conscious people. So this is a very important book. As it is means it's taken from the source and it's not changed. So Prabhupada, he comes, it's important to explain this before we go on. Prabhupada comes in a line of disciplic succession, which means we call Guru Parampara. So he has a guru, he has a guru, he has a guru. And that line is never broken. So it's like in India, if you pick a mango, they pick a mango at the top of the tree. They don't just chuck it down, they pass it very carefully. They have a succession of people, and they pass it down to the bottom, so it gets to the bottom intact. So spiritual knowledge, although it's very, very old, because it's not material. You see, everything material, look at your body, look at this stage, the floor, anything, look at anything material, and they all have one thing in common, and that is decay. Everything material will decay, but spirit is ever fresh. So although this knowledge is ancient, it's the oldest knowledge, if it's applied as it is correctly, it's ever fresh. Like that play, I could see the response to that play was very, very good, because we sense something deeper, there's something different, and it's ever fresh. Okay? So when we speak this knowledge, we don't invent anything. This is not like, if you go to many, I don't want to criticize anybody, but many places you'll go to, and there will be speculation, oh, I think it means this, or this is, even in India you see so many different realities, But we don't change anything. We present it as we personally like to present it, but we don't change the substance, we don't change the essence of it, you know. And there's another, before I read the first verse that I'm going to read, this is another point. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he's speaking to Arjuna, who's his disciple. He says, after he's spoken this knowledge, he says, thus I have explained to you this knowledge, still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. And the reason I say that is, you deliberate on this fully, and then you do what you wish to do. We're not here to try to bend people's minds. We're not here to try to change anything. We're here to try to explain what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. We're here to explain spiritual knowledge and hope that you may get something from it and take something home with you, whatever it is. And it's not a brainwashing process. It's totally, everybody's a free spirit. Everybody's free to decide what they want to do. So that's an important point. So the first verse, if Mo can put it on the board, is Bhagavad Gita 2:13. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Oh, it's on the screen. Okay, so you can see, if you look at the diorama, you can see there's a light going through. So we can see the body now is different to, I can't see many children in this room, and I won't start pointing out the old ones, but there is quite a few of us around, including myself. We can see when you was a child, you had a certain body. Then when you was a youth, you had a different kind of body. And even according to the scientists, every 7 years, every atom or every cell in the body is transformed, is renewed. So even the scientists accept every 7 years your body is renewed. So the body we're sitting in now, there's nobody here under 7 years old I can see, maybe one or two. But we remain the same person. Every single person in this room can identify. I mean, can anybody in this room remember when they were 5? Hands up if you can remember anything from when you were 5. 4, 3, 2, wow, 1 years old. Yeah, 1 years old. Well, so we have memories from I can actually remember when I was 3 or 4 years old. I can remember certain things. I remember some of the toys I used to have. But where's that body now? Where are them toys now? Where was that life now? You know, now I'm 58. This summer I'll be 59. I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Now my father died, 1 brother died, 1 sister died. Where are they now? You know. So the body changes, but the soul remains the same. We're the same person in a different body. And so according to the Vedas, at the time of death, according to the activities that we perform, we go on and we take birth again in another body. It's called samsara. This wheel of samsara. And we go around and around on this wheel. So we can see by this play was a perfect description of this verse. You can see that the guys on the train, which is indicating the journey through life, going through so many things. But it's like a dream, like a daydream. Like at night we dream. At night you go to sleep, you dream so many things. Last night I dreamt. Has anybody seen the Hare Krishna chanting and dancing on the street? Hands up again, anybody who's witnessed that? Yeah. Oh, very, very nice. So last night I dreamt I was doing that. But not just doing that, but I was going crazy, like really, getting into it, like a lunatic, It was a really nice dream, actually. If you're a Hare Krishna, it was a nice dream. But it was only a dream, And actually, it's real, but because it's temporary, it's also considered a dream. We used to sell an album in the early days of Hare Krishna called Daydream, Night Dream. So we have our night dream, and now we're having our daydream. But there's another reality. And you see in the material, well, like in this play, basically the guy was searching for love. They're searching for love. Everybody's searching for love. And everybody's searching for happiness. So in the Vedas, the name for that search is called Ananda Mayo Vyasat. And it means the soul. Everybody in this room is a spirit soul. And the soul it's got one unique quality. Can anybody tell me what it is? Ananda Mayo Vyasat. Can anybody guess what that is?
It doesn't change. It never dies and never changes.
That's one aspect of it. This is a specific point. One thing everybody's looking for. Pleasure. Pleasure. The soul is pleasure seeking. By nature, we're pleasure seeking. For example, if you put sugar on the top of a multi-story building, the ants will find it. And why is that? Because ants get intoxicated from sugar and they'll find it. The soul is pleasure seeking. So we can see by that play, they're searching and he's trying everything, But one way or another, we may find some pleasure. But like a movie, like that play, it was similar to a movie. It's very flickering. It lasts for some time. It's flickering. It comes on, off, And there's an incompatibility in the material world. There's always this sense of incompatibility because the soul is spirit. We are spirit. It's not that we're a body with a soul. We're not a body with a soul. We're a soul, a spirit soul with a body. It's the opposite way around. The body is covering the soul. So, there's another book. It's called the Mahabharata. Has anybody, hands up again? Anybody heard of the Mahabharata? It's a great epic of it from India. Brilliant book, absolutely brilliant. And it's so complicated. You could read that book every day for the rest of your life, and you still wouldn't get every angle because it's just so intricate. It covers every aspect of life. I'd recommend everybody to read it if you ever get a chance. Anyway, in that book, there's one part where a question is asked. I won't go into the details because it's not relevant to what we're talking about, but one question is asked of a guy called Yudhisthira. And the question is asked, what is the most amazing thing? And he has to get this right. If he gets it wrong, all his brothers die. So it's quite an important question, So again, I'll ask, I know it's a big ask, but can anybody guess what is the most amazing thing?
Love.
What's that?
Love.
Love, that's a good one, yeah. I mean, I could go along with that. But in this instance, it's actually something different to that. I'll tell you because I doubt if anybody, I would never have guessed it anyway. The answer is, this is the answer he gave and it was right. He said, the most amazing thing is everybody who ever came before me has gone. And yet I'm living my life as if I'm never going to go. That is the most amazing thing. That's what he said. And, that's all of us, if you don't mind me saying so, in my Liverpudlian way. That's all of us, And so it leaves the question, you can see like this train journey again. He's trying to establish himself. In that case, it's on a train, and we all know train journeys only last a few hours. Unless you're in India, of course. One time I was in India, I was on a train for 3 days. That was interesting. But still, it's temporary, and our material life is also temporary. So, it beggars the question, if everybody else has gone before, it's obvious we're going to go. But if you look at what we do? We go to school, we get a job, we get married, we buy a house, and we try to build a permanent situation. But why do we do that? It's ridiculous. If you think about it, it's ridiculous. We make no contingency plan for what's going to happen in that inevitability at the end of that train journey. And, it's bizarre. And so the question is, why do we do that? Why do we think that we're going to live like that? Why do we make plans that we think are going to last forever? And the answer is, okay, I'll open the floor again. Can anybody answer that question? Why do we do it?
Because we fear death.
That's a good one. That might be a part of it, because we fear death. But the answer is actually slightly different to that.
Just attachments on the questions. Attachments.
The material attachment, that's there as well, but there's an overriding reason. I mean, the actual,
We can't imagine our death.
yeah, we're eternal. She said, is that what you said?
Well, we can't imagine our death.
Yeah, we can't imagine.
I thought that was actually
Yeah.
a different...
But did you say because we're eternal?
Oh, we are,
Yeah, yeah. But the answer is, it's because we actually are eternal. We're eternal spirit souls living in a temporary body. And because we're eternal, we try to make eternal arrangements. Right? But it's kind of futile. But then we don't want to be too negative. Says he after totally destroying everybody's dreams. No. But seriously, we have, according to the Vedas, we have a responsibility. We have a material body. We're not the material body, but we have a material body. So we have a duty to satisfy that material body according to where we are, consciousness-wise. So we have a duty to, like, we may need to get married. We may need, whatever it takes to get us through the day. That's all right. There's similar songs that John Lennon wrote. Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. But we should add something higher. We should add, and that's what we're here tonight to talk about. That the whole world is working on this material platform. So I'll just briefly say this. There's 8 million, according to the Vedas, there's 8,400,000 species of life. And the human species is unique because in the human species, again, I'll ask everyone, what is the specific function or ability that humans have above all other creatures? Anybody? Think. Yeah, think. It's close.
Memory.
Memory, yeah. We also have, thinking memory is related, we have the ability to question, who am I? Where did I come from? What is the purpose of life? Who is God? What's it all about, man? We can ask all these questions. But animals can't ask them questions. We did a similar festival recently, and I forgot to finish what I was saying earlier on. And one guy, he's seen the play, and he said, it made me think of questions that I didn't even realise we're supposed to ask. You see, this is spiritual life. To ask questions and to so that brings us to this the Mama mantra. You see, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, is Has anybody here never heard that before? Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's amazing. I'm completely amazed. Oh, more. And so this is it's a mantra. It's called the Maha Mantra, which means the great mantra. A mantra of deliverance. So mantra, man means mind, and tra means to deliver. So these are three names of God: Hare, Krishna, and Ram. Hare is the invocative, the invoking. Actually, it's Krishna as a female counterpart, Radharani. So you can't go directly to Krishna without going through Radharani. So when we say Hare, we're invoking Radharani, asking her, please introduce us to Krishna. Krishna means the most attractive, the all attractive. Any good qualities you can imagine come from the Supreme Krishna. And Rama means the reservoir of all pleasure. So it's very, very deep, it's very, very complicated. And as my friend Giri said in his recent talk, he said, in this day and age, God is almost a swear word, you know. It's almost a swear word. So it's difficult subject matter, but it has to be said. So this mantra is not a material sound vibration. It's not a material, and soon later on you'll hear we'll chant, and hopefully you will have some experience of this chanting, that it's not a material sound vibration, it's spiritual. And I've been chanting this mantra for 32 years, more or less every day, for 32 years, 2 hours every day at least. And I can't imagine trying to chant Coca-Cola, or Heinz baked beans, or Kellogg's corn, or you know, you'd end up in a lunatic asylum, no doubt about it, and it'd lock you up. But this mantra purifies you. Even someone like me from Liverpool, from a council estate in Liverpool, unbelievably, it's worked a little bit at least. I must admit, not as much as on my friends like Giri and them, but it's worked a little bit, you know. So the purpose of human life is perfected when we're not saying we should all sit under a tree in our underpants and and become like yogis. We're not suggesting that. No, you can live your life, do whatever you're doing, but just add something to it. If you're a Christian, chant Jesus' name, chant, whatever. If you're a Buddhist or a Mohammedan, whatever, you just do it. But any bona fide name of God is okay, but we chant Krishna. We chant Krishna. And that's our philosophy. So, that's what we're here to say. And that's what life is actually for. And, I hope I haven't upset anybody or bored anybody to death. And I'll just open the floor up if anybody's got any questions. A couple of questions. Thank you very much. Any questions? Don't be shy.
Over here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the small thing really. I heard that Krishna and Christ are the same, but they both mean anointed one.
Can you repeat that?
Krishna and Christ mean the same thing.
Yeah, it's a contentious point, but I've heard the same thing. In fact, Prabhupada said in India, actually when Jesus was around, they called him Jesus of the Christ. They didn't call him Jesus Christ, they called him Jesus of the Christ. And in India to this day, if somebody's called Krishna, there's a common name like Jesus is in Spain. Krishna is still a common name in India. But they call a nickname for someone who's called Krishna is Christo or Christos. And originally in Greek and Aramaic they called Jesus Christos. So it's the same name. And there's also literature written about Jesus that said he spent many years, then 13 to 30, in India. I won't say more about that because I don't want, if there's Christians there, I don't want to upset anybody, but not just those, but there's books written by Christians on that subject. You can look it up. You know. Good point. Anybody else?
Can you tell more about the female aspect?
The
Feminine aspect of God?
No, I'm not qualified to say that. You know, I'm just a small devotee. That's very, very advanced stuff. You know, you can speak to some of the other devotees afterwards. But good question, but I'm sorry, but I'm just not. He's asking if I can explain more about the female aspect of God. But these subject matters are very, very elevated. One has to purify yourself slowly before you come to them subject matters. Okay, I'll end it there if there's no more questions. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Please give another round of applause right now, Father. Although he's been around many years, he's never talked to such a large audience. He,